Welcome to Recap Motion. The film opens in 1951 with Alan Turing being interrogated by police after a burglary at his home. As the detective questions him, Turing appears withdrawn and socially awkward. Through flashbacks, we are taken back to key moments in Turing's life. As a child, Turing is portrayed as a genius but socially isolated. He spends much of his time focused on puzzles and mathematics, often struggling to connect with his peers. His exceptional intellect is evident, but it comes at the cost of social interactions. The story then shifts to his time at Cambridge University, where he continues to alienate his classmates. However, his brilliance catches the attention of his professors, and he soon becomes an influential figure in the field of mathematics. As World War II approaches, Britain faces the looming threat of Nazi Germany. The Germans use a complex machine called the Enigma to encode their military communications, and the Allies find themselves unable to decipher these messages. Turing is recruited by the British government to work at Bletchley Park, the secret center for code-breaking efforts. There, he joins a diverse group of cryptanalysts, including the determined Commander Alastair Denniston. The atmosphere is tense as the team grapples with the immense responsibility of protecting their country from the threat posed by Germany. Turing quickly identifies the significance of breaking the Enigma code and proposes an ambitious plan to build a machine that can crack the code. His vision of constructing a bomb, a mechanical device designed specifically for code breaking, is met with skepticism from Denniston and his team. Turing's unconventional methods and single-mindedness create tension, particularly with fellow codebreaker Hugh Alexander, who doubts Turing's approach and concerns about his lack of teamwork. Despite these challenges, Turing is resolved to prove himself. He believes that the key to victory lies in deciphering the Enigma messages, and he begins assembling a team to bring his vision to life. Overcoming reluctance from some of his teammates, Turing strives to find common ground while pursuing his goal. The complexity of the project becomes overwhelming, and the pressure mounts with every passing day as the war intensifies and lives hang in the balance. As Turing's desperation grows, he starts to form a bond with fellow mathematician Joan Plark. Joan is keen and intelligent, and she shares Turing's passion for cryptography. Their relationship deepens as they work together to build the bomb. Turing proposes to Joan, even though he knows he does not truly love her in a romantic sense. This moment highlights Turing's struggle with intimacy and his difficulty in expressing his true self. In the face of setbacks and a lack of resources, Turing's obsessive dedication leads to further tension within the group. While some members are committed to the cause, others question the morality of their work. Turing's relentless pursuit of success often leaves him isolated, and he finds it increasingly challenging to navigate the dynamics within his team. Turing's determination leads to a breakthrough as the team begins to see results from their efforts. They successfully develop the bomb, a groundbreaking machine capable of deciphering the Enigma code. This achievement brings a mood of cautious optimism to Bletchley Park. With the bomb operational, Turing and his team work tirelessly to break the German codes. They uncover crucial intelligence that greatly influenced British military strategies and helped to save countless lives. The tension of the war amplifies as the stakes become higher. Each decrypted message reveals vital information about enemy movements and operations. As the war rages on, Turing's team faces the moral burden of their work. The decrypted messages reveal not only the enemy's strategies, but also the heartbreaking truth. Submarines attacking ships with civilians, planned bombing of populated areas, and Allied lives that could have been saved if they had acted on every intelligence information. However, to prevent the Germans from realizing that their cipher has been hacked, the British High Command often hides this information, sacrificing some of it to protect the great mission. Turing, although he understands the need for this logically, struggles with the weight of these decisions. His already fragile social ties weaken further as he withdraws into himself, finding solace only in his job and the company of his car. Meanwhile, tensions are rising at Bletchley Park. Joan Clark, one of Turing's closest associates, becomes an important intermediary between him and the rest of the team. Her sharp intellect and empathetic nature help bridge the gap when Turing's sharpness alienates others. But even she cannot completely ease his growing paranoia. He becomes convinced that there may be a Soviet spy among them passing information to Moscow. His suspicions are aroused by disagreements, especially with Hugh Alexander, who is increasingly upset by Turing's strange behavior. Outside of work, Turing's personal life is becoming increasingly complicated. His secret homosexuality, which was illegal in Britain in the 1940s, forces him to lead a life of constant caution. His engagement to Joan, ostentatious at first to protect them both, becomes increasingly strained as she hopes for a deeper connection that he cannot give her. The need to maintain this lie, combined with the stress of military action, pushes Turing ever closer to the edge of the abyss. His brilliant mind, which was once his main asset, now feels like a prison, locking him in a world where trust is a luxury he cannot afford. As the war rages on, Turing's suspicions of a Soviet spy reach a climax. He begins to secretly analyze internal correspondence, looking for inconsistencies that could reveal a traitor. His obsession escalates his relationship with Joan, who warns him that his paranoia is becoming destructive. When he accuses a fellow cryptoanalyst based on circumstantial evidence, a conflict breaks out in the team. Hugh Alexander, who is fed up with Turing's behavior, confronts him, which leads to a fierce argument that almost leads to a split in the unit. Only the intervention of Commander Deniston, who reminds them of the importance of their mission, prevents a complete breakdown. Stress affects Turing's mental state. He begins to experience bouts of severe anxiety and is overcome by fears of exposure, not only to a potential spy, but also to his own sexual orientation. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he confesses to Joan that he feels like an outsider even among the people he works with. She convinces him to trust the team, but Turing, exhausted by years of secrecy, finds it almost impossible. Meanwhile, the Allies' trust in Turing's decoding work is reaching new heights. The data obtained as a result of the Enigma interception helps turn the tide of major battles, including the North African campaign. But with every success comes a grim realization. The more indispensable Turing becomes, the more dangerous it is for him to exist outside the rigid norms of society. Every day, Turing's bomb became more accurate. The machine, which was once considered a crazy fantasy, now decrypted hundreds of German messages every day. One night, the team intercepted a coded order to bomb a convoy of refugees, women and children evacuated from frontline areas. There was almost no time. Turing quickly calculated the coordinates without looking up from the printouts. His voice, normally monotonous, faltered. "It's in the North Sea, in 3 hours." The British ships managed to redirect the convoy, and the fighters intercepted the Luftwaffe bombers. The next day, a dry summary appeared in the Bletchley Park dossier. Losses have been prevented. 1,200 lives have been saved. None of the survivors ever found out that their salvation was born in concrete walls, among whirring gears and sleepless cryptographers. But there was a price to pay for every such success. To prevent the Germans from suspecting hacking, some attacks had to be skipped, sacrificing little for the sake of secrecy. It gnawed at Turing. He began to lock himself in the laboratory, testing the logic of the machine over and over again, as if hoping to find a way to save everyone. It was then, on one of the rare evenings when he allowed himself to drink in the pub with Joan, that the very theft occurred in his house. The final blow is dealt when a petty theft investigation unexpectedly leads the police to Turing's house. What begins as a routine investigation soon escalates into something much more sinister when detectives discover evidence of his relationship with another man. The very government that relied on his genius to win the war now considers him a criminal. When Turing is brought in for questioning, the walls close in, not only around his freedom, but also around his legacy. The arrest destroys Turing's world. According to Britain's draconian anti-homosexuality laws, he is accused of gross indecency and is faced with an impossible choice: prison or chemical castration with hormone therapy. Desperate to continue his work, he agrees to the injections, but the side effects are devastating. The once sharp mind that helped solve the enigma is now struggling with hazy thoughts and mood swings. His body is weakening, and his hands, the same hands that created the bomb, are shaking uncontrollably. The British government, in an effort to avoid a scandal, quietly removes him from secret projects, effectively ending his career as a cryptoanalyst. Joan Clark, heartbroken and furious, tries to intervene by appealing to their former superiors at Bletchley Park. But wartime loyalty means little to the peacetime bureaucracy. The same officials who once praised Turing's talent are now distancing themselves from him, fearing a scandal. Even Hugh Alexander, despite their past clashes, is shocked by the injustice, but is powerless to stop it. Turing, once a war hero, is now an inconvenient mystery. Being isolated, Turing immersed himself in theoretical work, exploring the early concepts of artificial intelligence and computational biology. But the treatment, combined with the humiliation caused by his condemnation, undermined his spirit. His friends notice an alarming change in him. His humor is getting darker, his optimism is fading. In 1954, Alan Turing was found dead in his house, with a half-eaten apple stuffed with cyanide next to him. The official verdict is suicide, although some of his loved ones cling to the hope of an accident. The last frames of the film depict the Turing machine bomb, which is now a museum relic. Visitors pass by her, unaware of the man who brought her to life, a man who saved millions of people but was broken by the world he saved. Thank you for joining us for this recap of The Imitation Game. If you enjoyed our exploration of Alan Turing's inspiring yet tragic story, please feel free to subscribe to our channel, leave your comments, and hit the like button. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in our next videos.